I think you already can. I think can I run to the end of that?
one of them, you have to do it differently. What is the other boldness? And then I said to her, well, what about Trump going after Venezuela and going after Russia, China, and Iran? How are you putting that into the equation?
Of course not. Why would
Because
they
if
have
you
it
can
right?
exclude it, it blows the mind.
I was told that she had around I'm sorry, Matt's on his way. He just walked. He's walking. It's all Putin's fault. Trump has nothing to do with it. It's all Putin. We all know that. We're not stupid. It ain't Trump's country. He don't got, you know what I mean? There's only so much he can do. And they put the umbrella.
Good? Huh? You good? Yeah, I think so. I think they want me to do a little more of this shot here. Ansehen können, wie dieses schon viel sagen.
Allô, ouais, on t'entend. Oh non, 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 non. Attends, 2 secondes. Je t'entends. Ouais, on peut se mettre en place. Céline? C'est bon, on peut faire un peu comme ça.
Ouais.
Alors, attends, recule un peu parce que là, t'es à l'ombre, on ne voit pas. Recule, recule, mets-toi au soleil.
Putain, on fait du mécanique à vous.
Ah?
On fait après midi.
Ok.
6h.
Oui, si vous voulez. Faut que tu... Comment est-ce que tu peux te mettre ton visage au soleil? Est-ce que tu peux recule au vert?
qu'on se mette, je peux me mettre proche hein, si tu veux.
Non, mais là, c'est bien, t'as visé le soleil.
Ouais. J'ai...
Je te dans la tête.
Non, non, non.
Le repas de Netanyahou, du coup, il arrive quand?
C'est bien. I'm good for now. He said I'm happy here, so get you gone. So. Il est, alors je regarde parce que je me suis perdu un peu, il va être 14 heures précisément dans les prochaines minutes, et donc 20 heures en France, 6 heures de décalage. La réunion aurait dû commencer aux alentours de 13 heures entre Donald Trump et Volodymyr Zelensky. On sait que le président est arrivé avec un peu de retard, une vingtaine de minutes environ. Son cortège est passé à quelques mètres de nous, applaudi d'ailleurs par les soutiens ukrainiens qui étaient à proximité de cette route, comme on vous l'a expliqué tout à l'heure. Puis le président ukrainien est arrivé dans cette résidence de Mar-a-Lago en Floride, là où Donald Trump passe les fêtes de fin d'année. Les deux chefs d'État se sont rencontrés devant le perron. Ils ont été bien installés et ont posé devant la presse, notamment ils ont expliqué quelques mots. Donald Trump a expliqué que cette réunion serait sans doute fructueuse et nous sommes dans les dernières étapes d'un plan de paix pour l'Ukraine. Voilà ce qu'a dit également le président américain en recevant Volodymyr Zelensky. Ce que l'on sait également, c'est Donald Trump lui-même qui l'a annoncé sur son réseau social Truth il y a un peu plus d'une heure et demie, c'est qu'avant cette réunion, il a eu Vladimir Poutine au téléphone. Et ce qu'il a dit lorsqu'il a reçu Volodymyr Zelensky dans cette résidence de Mar-a-Lago, c'est qu'il aura Vladimir Poutine après cette réunion bilatérale de nouveau au téléphone pour, voilà, pour échanger sur ce réunion bilatérale. C'est très difficile de savoir ce qu'il se dit en ce moment parce que bien évidemment la presse n'est pas conviée. Ce que l'on sait par contre, c'est qu'il y aura un échange téléphonique cette fois avec les leaders européens alliés de Volodymyr Zelensky. On sait également qu'à l'issue de cette réunion, il devrait y avoir une conférence de presse où Volodymyr Zelensky et Donald Trump prendront la parole pour dire ce qu'il s'est dit possiblement dans cette réunion bilatérale. Le président ukrainien avait expliqué que des questions sensibles allaient être évoquées, notamment sur la question des territoires, le Donbass notamment, ou encore l'épineuse question de la gestion de la centrale nucléaire de Zaporizhzhia. On le sait, elle est occupée par les Russes et donc il y aura une conférence de presse, très probablement, sans doute, à l'issue de cette réunion bilatérale entre Donald Trump et Volodymyr Zelensky. Ouais, je suis désolé, en fait, je t'avais pas prévenu et je sais pas si j'avais fait trop long et tout. Probably hoping to get that full set, okay, just go home. I think unfortunately for you is they're probably going to keep you there at least till he leaves. Like, that would make sense just to be on the safe side. Did you get the motorcade? I didn't see it. Yeah, it came right here. Yeah. Oh, what else? So that's my car or something. I'm just saying that because we hear that he's leaving. Give him that shot because I'll take it. Get a shot of security, but get a shot of the bridge going down. That would have got him. C'est un compétiteur de LiveView High Vision. C'est un compétiteur de LiveView High Vision ou, vous avez un LiveView dans le sac?
Ah oui, oui, c'est un Avis West. Avis, c'est la vie, d'accord.
Ouais, d'accord.
Ouais, bah, je pense que c'est un compétiteur, mais on n'a pas trop la vie en France.
Ouais, non, je sais.
On a ça ou TVU.
TVU West.
C'est une chaîne d'où? Allemagne?
D'Allemagne, ouais. Moi, je suis basé ici, je suis basé à Washington.
D'accord.
I don't know if you would, but there is some. The battery, 16%. So if you all switch to one of those, we just have one more option with 10 batteries.
I mean, this is back up to like 60% now, though, so a couple more hours at least. This keeps going. My intrusive thoughts would get the better eventually. I gotta shoot people or anything, but I mean, you're out here on the water like this, just do a little.
Some fishing.
vai este processo climático. Como que nós queremos da empresarial estão, não esquecendo que os Estados Unidos que decidiu aquilo que é inteligência de informação para as empresas investirem em cidades altas nas estruturas energéticas da Rússia, são também caso estão a vender armas letais para a Ucrânia, os materiais daquilo que é a aliança de defesa está com os ucranianos. Em termos diplomáticos, aquilo que estamos a tentar fazer é passar mais uma ideia nuclear, não tem algo manifestamente adversarial contra a Rússia. E penso que é mais essa lógica. Temos de facto começar a defesa, a parte climática, a ver esta postura mais neutra, por mais que nós só queremos mas que temos de tomar ainda bem que, ok, thank God it didn't go on my last. Não, não, pois porque já estava mesmo no final, agora vai. Não, eu não estava, eu não estava on, ok, mais cedo da tarde. Mas, não, vamos. Agora é às 8, depois. Não é fácil.
ora bem, agora portanto, a Ana acabou, a Ana ficou sem, ela acha, ela daqui a 45 minutos, daqui a 40 minutos, daqui a 35 minutos, a Ana, estás-me a ouvir? Pronto, daqui a 35 minutos ela tem que estar aqui ao pé. Ela não vai sair daqui. Agora, você precisa ter como qualquer coisa. Eu dei qualquer Ana. Qualquer Ana, se vocês virem aqui o chapéu rosa aberto. Rosa aberto. O melhor é que eu não quero que vocês ficarem cá, porque ela não discute. Pode, quer dizer, talvez não tenha muito prático, não sei se ela tem muito prático.
Ah, sim.
Agora é encontrar aqui o spot. Eu fico aqui a encontrar o spot. Agora a Ana não sair aqui do lugar onde está um lugar ótimo. Eu não sei. Ok. Nós estamos na casa. Já vi que espécie. Não venham para aqui. Todas fora daqui. Não venham aqui para a casa.
Yeah, I only have to get 7. Do you need help?
Then, hey, that's fine. That's good. Good shot.
Je vais voir sous le soleil et comme ça fera un petit coup derrière. Ça sera triste.
Ah.
Ouais.
Je vois pas là. Hein.
Tu dis quoi? Tu vois pas quoi? Ouais, t'inquiète.
Ouais, donc pour nous c'est bon.
The sun's going down.
Un tout petit peu sur ta gauche.
interesting. Oui, c'est d'ailleurs cet appel avec les alliés européens de Volodymyr Zelensky doit avoir lieu 1 heure après le début de cette réunion bilatérale. Ça veut dire que cet appel devrait commencer dans les minutes qui suivent. On sait bien évidemment qu'il y aura par exemple avec le Macron, le chef de l'État français, ou encore Ursula von der Leyen, la présidente de la Commission européenne. Je disais, ce sera donc au milieu de cette réunion bilatérale qui a commencé avec un petit peu de retard, une trentaine de minutes, parce que Volodymyr Zelensky c'est les attentes. Le Français est arrivé ici bien, vers 13h30 heure locale, 19h30 en France. Il y a eu donc ce passage devant la presse sur le perron de cette résidence de Mar-a-Lago. Quelques mots ont été échangés avec la presse de Trump qui espérait une réunion fructueuse, et expliquait aussi que nous étions dans les dernières étapes de ce plan de paix, ce plan de paix qui en est question depuis plusieurs semaines maintenant. En un point, des questions sensibles vont être évoquées au cours de cette réunion bilatérale. C'est ce qu'a dit Volodymyr Zelensky hier. Parmi ces questions sensibles, notamment celle des territoires, par exemple le Donbass, ou encore l'épineuse question de la gestion de la centrale de Zaporizhia, occupée par Russes, je disais. Donald Trump parle de réunion fructueuse. Il a eu Vladimir Poutine, le président russe, au téléphone avant cette réunion. C'est lui-même qui l'a annoncé sur son réseau social russe, sur son réseau social russe, pardon. Et il y aura au téléphone, cette réunion bilatérale terminée, c'est ce qu'il a dit également. Il y aura
Ou arrière de
No. If you're going to the office, who's in charge of it? Yeah. Yet, plus the fact that double still keeping you here. And saying one way or the other is awesome. So what? Yeah, lucky. You're overtime anyway. You what? You're working the overtime.
Yeah, I might end up getting time and a half after all. A little bit anyway. So I'm more worried about just getting home, taking care of dogs.
Where's your wife?
She's visiting her mom. So one of the joys of having family like spread out all over is like I usually go to Ohio early in December and go visit my family. And her mom lives in Las Vegas, and she goes out there for a week to go see her.
Fuck this thing.
puppy stays with whoever stays home. Actually, I took the older dog with me up to Ohio because I drove up there and just took him with me. Figured he could use a break
It's a
from
bit of a
puppy.
hike driving to Ohio.
Well, so my mom and stepdad live in North Carolina, and my dad and stepmom still live in Ohio where I grew up. So like I stop in North Carolina for a few days, go to Ohio, and come back and spend another couple days in North Carolina. So it's not too bad. It's not bad.
You can break it up like that.
Yeah. Like having my car and all that stuff, like when I get up there and I have to deal with like planes and shit. We flew up to Ohio for a wedding at the beginning of November when like the government shut down and stuff on. The flights there were fine, but the flights back, like I had a bunch of flights get canceled, so I had to keep like rebooking.
Yeah.
So that was stressful. Finally got home.
Now, when we do stuff in Ohio, I tell them I prefer to drive. Okay.
You're coming from DC,
From
right?
DC, it's a 6 to 8 hour drive. By the time I pack my gear for travel, I get to the airport 2 hours early, fly, get the car rental the other way. Like, I drive everything in my truck. I've got a Suburban.
This year I've been covering executions, and like they're up at Start, which is kind of like Gainesville and Jacksonville, out in the middle of nowhere. It's like a good 5+ hour drive up there, but like if I flew to Jacksonville, I'd have to like get to the airport a couple hours early, fly to Jacksonville, rent a car. Like it'd still be over 5 hours.
Yeah, strap your gear on it.
So it's just, it's easier to drive up there.
Right, much slower, but it's celebrating visually. Não, vai ter. Mas é um preto. Você vai ligar agora, olha o preço. Yeah.
Hello, Francine. How are you? Okay. Well, welcome back. Sure. So, so it was easy. All right. I'll talk to you soon. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.
Still streaming? Yeah, by the time this thing, yeah, my phone keeps, I mean, it's working, but it's like charging more and more off that. So while it's running, so even if this thing gives out,
You still have plenty. I mean, if it gives out, like I said, I'll swap with my one of
it's
the
probably
batteries.
last at least another hour. Like
Yeah.
this will probably be well over 70, probably be over 80% charged by the time that dies. So I have plenty to do.
Vous attendez pas la fin des résultats?
Non, là, on a une pause de...
Je plaisante. Vous allez rater l'histoire.
On suivra sur le WhatsApp.
Sur Truth.
See that at it.
En France, toute la journée, par les Brigitte Bardot qui est morte.
Bah ouais, non, c'est beaucoup plus important.
Bah oui. Donc ce matin, on devait faire des duplex et au final...
Brigitte Bardot, la pauvre. C'est triste, ça. La major French actress passed today. Brigitte Bardot,
Oh, yeah.
actually,
Yeah, I saw that.
91 years old.
Just talking about that today.
It's more important than
Trump's
peace.
talking about her. Just because.
I'm surprised he hasn't. Je suis surpris que Trump n'ait pas fait un commentaire déplaisant sur elle.
Ah ouais. Bon, après, c'est quite racist. Quite right-wing.
She was quite right-wing. Yeah.
Ah ouais? Ils sont sûrs de rester, c'est pas ça?
C'est le moins la plus forte.
Bien.
The jet ski is going to get intercepted. Look at that. 3:45, David. 1 hour. There's a jet ski over there to be intercepted.
Motorhead.
That could be him. If you see an ambulance, usually it's a sign that it's VIP. Just open the driver's like cops. Helicopter is flying, so it's probably moving pretty soon.
I would be surprised.
Hmm?
I think it's.
Yeah.
Kind of ruled out, but.
We started at 2 o'clock, right? Instead of
Good. It's not even an hour. Motorcycles doing something. What is it? Email? Scoot over a little bit. Sorry.
After all this, then bust your shot.
Shot the boat now. I yell out there and you can do like a donut or something. Just
I tried earlier, but
spin around and shoot that gun up.
the Duke is doing.
Yeah, just spin around. It's
So is this downtown Palm Beach over there? It's like completely.
I'd be downtown. West Palm Beach.
West Palm Beach. Yeah.
I don't like come up here that much. Yeah, that's got to be downtown West Palm Beach. Palm Beach. See what West Palm Beach is like.
The wannabes, the dreamers.
Well, I think this is where like all the rich people initially moved to, and then West Palm Beach was like where their staff had to live. If you're still on, can I beg you for one last sun reflector? Yeah, I'm here. It's coming up in 45 minutes. Say the sun might be down by then, but maybe not quite yet. Grouping of trees giving it that wider shadows. If you open the trap, yes. There's only two ways to go. Yeah, unless I got a helicopter. Just this guy's out here. The thing is, once it is enough of these, it's a muscle memory for the stopping. As I already mentioned that here, the wise man never did. Book, best-selling book. What's the big fun? I think it's the fun, but yes, off table. Whoa. Just in time for the wedding. Last week, next week's last week. Na? Ja, schön. Schön, dich zu hören. Wie geht's? Still trending. Oh yeah. Only 75%. But yeah. Even when that thing dies, it'll still go about another 2 hours.
It's weird that we don't know anything. We don't know if he's still there, not there.
Yes, supposedly they're in their meeting right
Yeah.
now. First, but it's not alive, so we'll have to stay for.
Aí essa pra ter. Então, isso é tão forte. I think that is Europe. Is Europe.
Estamos viendo señal en directo.
See? Yeah. You're providing a good service. Yeah, I like no. She just wants it's funny because they're using the shot. You see how it's such a total? But then it's like a bump shot. Yeah. All these bump shots. Okay. Like, jetzt nochmal reden. Ich glaube auch nicht, dass sich jetzt bis zur Sendung noch was tut. Bis dahin werden die weiter reden. So, und ich glaube, die zweite Frage, ich glaube, ich finde das richtig, deine Sicherheit. Er sagt, es wird welche geben, aber wer die leistet, ich glaube, eher nicht. Okay. So. Nee, okay, dann bin ich einverstanden. Ich hatte das vorhin so verstanden, als würdest du quasi fragen, nach welchem Trump zusagen. Oder also, ja, also er ist oft überhaupt nicht da. Ja, genau. Ja. Nee, okay, da bin ich mit allem einverstanden. Ja, alles klar. Gut, gut. Ich habe bisher jedenfalls noch von niemandem was gelesen, auch auf oder so, dass es normal war. Und ich denke, das geht noch normal. Und die vielen Leute mit am Tisch, die Withdrawals und Kuchners und Rubios und so weiter, die müssen ja auch irgendwie alle noch irgendwie was sagen. Ja. Und die Europäer werden ja auch wohl zugeschaltet. Ich habe mit Felix noch kurz gesprochen, wir sind uns einig auch, dass wir uns nicht in die Quere kommen, aber das läuft. Cool, bis gleich, kommt auf. Genau, ich gucke auch eine Minute vorher noch aufs Handy, also wenn was kommt, sehe ich es. Gut, danke. Okay. We do a plan. Hey, how's it going? Security. plenty of conflict.
David, looks like you may be here.
Yeah.
I thought you were for one last time.
Yeah.
When are you guys doing it?
Hmm?
When are you doing it?
8:48. Yeah.
I'm storing in my car. This is fine.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm gonna go plug it in.
Do you wanna put my battery in there?
And what?
One of my batteries?
I don't need it yet. I got like 75, but like this is like 2 hours, I think.
Okay. Ja, der US-Präsident sendet gemischte Signale und versucht die Erwartungen auch wieder so ein bisschen zu managen. Bei der Begrüßung vorhin, wir haben es ja gerade gehört, sagt er, entweder es geht schnell vorbei oder er dauert noch sehr lange. Dazwischen ist ja nun die Luft. Zelensky wird versuchen, weiter anhand dieses überarbeiteten 20-Punkte-Plans zu verhandeln, gemeinsam mit den Europäern. Die zwei wesentlichen Knackpunkte bleiben ja da etwa unbeantwortet. Das eine ist die Frage nach der Gebietsaufteilung, vor allem was den Donbass angeht, und das andere ist die Frage nach Sicherheitsräumen. Die Ukraine hätte am liebsten natürlich eine NATO-Mitgliedschaft als Abschreckung vor zukünftiger russischer Aggression. Die ist aber vom Tisch. Also ist die Idee, dass es so etwas wie Artikel 5 ähnliche Beistandspflichten anderer Länder gibt der Ukraine gegenüber. Aber bisher hat noch nicht jemand konkret ausbuchstabieren können, wie das aussehen könnte. Mit Soldaten auf dem Boden zum Beispiel in der Ukraine, das wiederum
lehnt ja die russische Seite pauschal ab. Mein Reporter hat vorhin Donald Trump gefragt nach den Sicherheitsgarantien. Und er hat das barsch zurückgewiesen. Er hat gesagt, das sei eine sehr dumme Frage. Es werde Sicherheitsgarantien zwar geben, aber da werden die Europäer sich drum kümmern, sagt der Präsident. Also er versucht weiter die USA hier irgendwie so zu positionieren, dass er diesen Krieg beendet, dass er zukünftig wieder Geschäfte mit Russland machen kann und argumentiert nicht, wie die Europäer hier auf Grundlage von Moral oder Recht oder Gesetz.
can get back to our hotel without getting blocked by the cars.
You what?
Hope we can get back to our hotel without being blocked by the cars.
Yeah, I think you can get through there. I mean, I think you've always been able to go that way.
Oh, we're on this side of the water.
Oh, you're over
Yeah,
there?
yeah.
Oh. I don't know. That's the fancy side.
Trust me, our hotel is not fancy. It's funny, I shot an interview between Trump and Piers Morgan like 3 years ago, 4 years ago, and we stayed in the same hotel. It's Marriott. It's property kind of beat up. It's very close to the water. It's very close to this place. So. It's our last live.
Taking off after that, or
We do one for the morning shows. So I think we have one at 7:04 tomorrow morning.
but I think like you're
After this, yeah. Need to get to the hotel, go to the bathroom. And then eat something. So, it's a glamour of our job. It's a glamorous, yeah. So that's okay.
yeah, you about ready? Yeah, that's fine.
Reconnect you because it's different from me. We have time. We have another 10
Ja,
minutes.
hallo, ein letztes Mal für heute.
Are you coming back here tomorrow?
What's going on here tomorrow?
No, but sometimes, you know, the foreign clients want to do live shot for their morning shows and stuff.
Like I have a tomorrow, so
Letzte Mal heute.
get down in Miami. So
Yeah.
if someone's coming, it ain't me.
Shot for sometimes.
That's better here. Can you remember when the two of us, when we went to the Potomac for the plane crash? That was cold. At the shows in Germany. position was good. But
Mais a duração é capaz de utilizar as diferentes componentes, serão talvez uma maior sensibilidade às questões de interesse e vulnerabilidade solidária, são mais favoráveis ao cérebro, os próprios cérebros não são lógicos da prevenção do processo, basicamente para tentar enfrentar aquilo que são vidas sensibles ao ar, ambas as partes poderão comportar, sempre certo não é indício, aquilo que é o mais importante, território e garantia de segurança, ambas as partes vão estar satisfeitas. Nomeadamente, Zelensky está a ter aceita que é um molde da Convenção Social, que está a ter uma decisão da Convenção, tanto tempo, por um tempo, a solução de basicamente de uma zona económica para os importes e as sociais e para favorecer a sua contribuição, mas em termos de administração total, seria a ser associado uma mescla de ucranianos, talvez uma supervisão internacional, já isso é quase impossível conceder um acordo relativamente a quem gerir em termos políticos em termos dessa zona económica especial, mas seria uma ferramenta que já foi usada no passado. Parece que Zelensky, à partida, iria conservar em situar as suas próprias zonas do Donetsk e Ucrânia também com os ucranianos, mas era também fundamental para os ucranianos que fossem também.
Radio.
Para serem pensados além do território, consciência, controle e confiança, só para depois contar uma aparência de força para fazer com que os Estados Unidos façam maior pressão ao outro lado social à Ucrânia,
Someone arriving? The sun is gonna come around and as of now it's fine, but I think in 2 or 3 minutes it's gonna show up. So yeah, that's perfect. How much time? I think 2 more minutes. That's or 1 minute. Goddamn, no. I bet Obama felt that. He seems like he felt that. Einverstanden. Seconds. Ja, bis auf dann der Präsident zu Beginn erstmal die Erwartungen zu managen. Versucht ein bisschen erste Signale zu senden, diese Aussage zu begrüßen, wenn endet der Krieg oder dauert noch sehr lange. Dazwischen ist ja nun die Luft. Zelensky versucht wiederum weiter anhand dieses 20-Punkte-Plans zu verhandeln, den er ja gemeinsam mit den Europäern konkretisiert hat. Darum wird es jetzt hier gehen. Und die beiden wesentlichen Knackpunkte sind weiterhin ja ungelöst. Das ist eine Gebietsfrage. Was passiert mit dem Donbass?
Das andere ist die Frage nach Sicherheitsgarantien. Ukraine hätte natürlich am liebsten eine NATO-Mitgliedschaft von russischer Aggression abzuschrecken. Das ist offenbar ja vom Tisch. Also ist die Idee, dass es eine Art von Artikel 5 ähnlicher Beistandspflicht anderer Länder gibt, um Ukraine im Zweifel zu verteidigen. Aber es hat ja bisher niemand konkret ausbuchstabieren können, wie das aussehen könnte. Soldaten auf dem Boden in der Ukraine zum Beispiel, lehnt die russische Seite ja pauschal ab bislang. Also da gibt es wenig Annäherung. Vorhin hat ein Reporter Donald Trump auch gefragt nach den Sicherheitsgarantien. Hat das ziemlich barsch zurückgewiesen, hat gesagt, das sei eine sehr dumme Frage. Es werde am Ende irgendwelche Sicherheitsgarantien geben, aber die werden die Europäer wohl wahrscheinlich leisten, sagt der US-Präsident. Also er versucht weiter, die USA hier irgendwie so zu positionieren, dass sie in Zukunft wieder Geschäfte mit Putins Russland machen können. Und er argumentiert dabei nicht mit Völkerrecht, er benennt auch den Aggressor nicht als solchen. Danke euch. So, that's it. Thanks a lot. That's it for today.
Hey, no problem.
David?
Yeah, it's good to meet you. Yeah. Go.
Yep. I think the other guy was too long, definitely. But yeah, but every now and then, those people in mind will tell us for the double lives. They must win happy. They would have said.
It's just felt like it's maybe there.
I mean, sure, they want to make sure that both the last shots are.
Duplex maintenant. Mieux connecté que toi. Tiens, 1, 2, 1, 2. Tu peux te remettre au bord là-bas.
Ouais, ouais.
C'est chaud niveau soleil?
Disassemble.
Disassemble. Je peux passer ou pas?
Vas-y, vas-y, ouais.
Plus loin, non?
Ça fait un beau flou, écoute.
You want some shadow?
No, no, it's okay.
Yeah, it's okay.
Do you want some sun?
Yeah, ouais. Yes, je suis là, hein. C'est quand tu veux.
Thank you. That was nice and easy. Can be a really, really nice guy. And he is. But he can also yes. But he doesn't just do it to show off his power. But everyone's called.
Là, il est 16h dans quelques minutes, 22h heure française. C'est vrai que cette réunion se poursuit. Je ne sais pas. Alors là, vous me posez une colle, Darius, mais je sais que la photo a été publiée il y a environ 40-45 minutes. Donc, ils ont pu commencer à déjeuner quelques instants plus. Cette photo a été diffusée notamment par les agences. On voit Donald Trump face à Volodymyr Zelensky avec toutes les personnes qui accompagnent les chefs d'État, notamment le ministre de l'économie ukrainien qui est aux côtés de Volodymyr Zelensky. On peut tous les citer parce qu'il y a une quinzaine de personnes autour de la table, mais c'est vrai que cette réunion se
10-second rule.
2 heures maintenant. On sait que Volodymyr Zelensky est arrivé un petit peu en retard aux alentours de 13h20 heure locale, 19h20 en France. Il y a eu un premier speech, une première prise de parole sur le perron de la résidence de Mar-a-Lago. Donald Trump a dit que ce serait une réunion fructueuse et que nous serions dans les dernières étapes de ce plan de paix, le plan de paix en 20 points que l'on évoque depuis plusieurs jours, presque plusieurs semaines, qui pourrait donc tenter de mettre fin au conflit en Ukraine qui dure depuis près de 4 ans maintenant, mais en tout cas, cette réunion se poursuit entre les deux chefs d'État. Alors, théoriquement, il devrait y avoir une conférence de presse commune de Donald Trump et Volodymyr Zelensky. Il y a un peu plus d'une heure, on a appris une info quelque peu surprenante, disant que Volodymyr Zelensky devrait faire une conférence de presse de manière séparée sur un groupe WhatsApp. Donc, moi, c'est la première fois que je entends quelque chose de pareil, mais théoriquement, il devrait y avoir une prise de parole commune de Donald Trump et de Volodymyr Zelensky. La certitude qu'il y aura aussi cette conférence de presse séparée de Volodymyr Zelensky sur ce fameux groupe WhatsApp. Ce que l'on sait également, c'est qu'après cette réunion bilatérale, Donald Trump a appelé Vladimir Poutine, il a lui-même annoncé pour tenir compte de ce qui s'est passé ici à Mar-a-Lago. Deuxième appel de la journée avec Vladimir Poutine parce qu'il l'avait appelé un peu plus tôt, avant cette réunion bilatérale. Il avait lui-même annoncé sur son réseau social.
Jetzt sind wir dran, ja. Das kommt jetzt.
Like one guy. He's like, yo, dude, I want to turn. It's my turn.
They don't have a restroom.
When's it us? Still good water? Yeah. Close here?
You got the copies? Or did I get them? Yes, I have. I go pick the copy. Come on.
David, thanks a million. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.
Call you David like the German David. I'll be back.
Are they going?
Have a good one.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see. I'm sorry. Sorry. Yeah.
Joe Marquette was running the photo operation down there, and he told me, he said, "You see the cat and make a picture of the cat."
Yeah, I bet. I remember when the boss got the dog, we were like, everybody was flipping it.
Oh, sure.
I had a picture of Michelle chasing it on the south lawn. It's fucking hilarious.
Love that. Man, it was nice and cool a minute ago. What happened? It's really cool.
Because there's too many people.
I'm gonna walk out there.
It's just gonna get hotter, right?
It's designed to people. I mean, I've been in here with stupid chairs and tables.
This is a living room?
This is the tea room.
I'll be looking for an appointment tomorrow.
The main area right outside that door is called the living room.
No.
Where we went with them is called the dining room. Tea.
I'm just. No, I'm just working the angles.
And there's a not dissimilar to this at the Bellagio. In one of the rooms in the Bellagio.
Yeah.
But you knew that. You hang out in Vegas.
All the time. Can't stop.
Sad.
Still with me, Ken? Good luck, guys.
The version of 2 minutes and mine are different.
20. They always, it's multiplied by 10. And they give us a 30-second warning or we'll be closer.
They're probably walking around outside, which would be a beautiful place.
That'd be a nice photo.
Yeah, but he did that with She.
Yeah, we did that with She a long time ago.
Yeah, remember that? Yeah, I'm here for that.
Yeah, that was the first administration.
Yep. It was a picture.
It was a good picture. Yeah. Was that the only person he ever invited in the first administration to Mar-a-Lago? Was She? Like world leader mode? I don't remember anybody else.
I don't know. It's a good question.
We had like 2 people in 2 days this time.
Well, during the election, I did Netanyahu here once before. That's a good question.
Didn't we have the Canadian president here in Venezuela? During the
Oh, we had
campaign?
Bolsar. I photographed Bolsar.
During the campaign, right? Brazilian, that's right.
I think that was during the administration.
I
Brazil.
thought that was during the campaign, or was that during
Both.
the...
It was both. It was both.
Okay.
It was both.
Or after before the inauguration, then after the election.
Transition.
Yeah.
I ate something. My bag was covered in hives.
What? From last night?
Covered. Before I got to go with y'all, I had a beer and some of those bar snacks.
Okay.
And I think
That
there was
doesn't make sense.
the bar snacks may have had some nut in there that
The olives?
no
Olives?
No, well, not no
I
Kalamata.
should never eat olives.
I love Kalamatas, but I mean it was covered in hives. Covered.
Was it like itchy wise?
Oh my God! Beyond the wildest dreams. I could. It's probably still pretty red and itchy right
Did you
now.
take a shower or what'd you do?
Found the Benadryl. Took a Benadryl.
Okay.
And then I also took a day early my Dupixent shot, which is an anti-allergen thing.
Okay.
So I did the injection of that. And I'm supposed to do it every 2 weeks. Monday was my normal day.
What is that?
Dupixent?
Injection for allergy? Okay, what is that?
Oh, dude. You heard of this? So,
I take Flonase.
oh, this is life-changing. Okay. So, we were talking about the polyps. I had surgery for the polyps.
They came back.
And they came back. But apparently what you're supposed to do is surgery. When you do the Dupixent injection, that keeps the polyps away because the polyps are a reaction to
So I don't have polyps. I have chronic rhinitis and shit just swells.
yeah, same. I got all that. I've had a couple surgeries.
I'll guess the doctor.
It's 2 weeks. And I said, how long do I do this? And then the doctor and the nurse in unison said, the rest of your life. I'm like, okay.
I gotta go see my annual checkup in February. I'll ask him about it.
Huh?
I'll ask him in February for my checkup.
Oh, great. crazy, Tony. We love you, Tony.
We pop the AC in, have her call, make a phone call.
We'll be able to trust the next
I'm not worried about that. I'm at 80%.
the one that you put in down there that has 60%.
Yeah, this whole thing's giving me hives.
Plug into in the van.
I'm not worried about that.
Will you help me with my shirt? I need to take my shirt off.
And I have 2 batteries in it. I just wanted to change it.
Watch.
People are taking me over.
80%.
I can stay for a little bit. I can't stay all day. They'll pass out.
Let them know that we're ready.
D-tap to D-tap. Fully from one guy to the other. D-tap to the other.
Buddy battery.
Nothing but love, baby. Nothing but love.
Hey, pull this way, They're walking. Wow. White balance. Wow.
Sorry.
It's the one for the flash.
It's one from Flash.
Yeah.
I need to get one for a second. I'm tired of like having it in my pocket.
So the best one is you get a thing for your Sony. Which one do you use for your Sony FP1 with pouch? Okay, you don't have a special one.
I don't have a special one.
Which pouch? You don't use one. Okay. So the best one is the one actually that Zelensky has, and Andrew uses the same one. I'll show it to you. This one I like better than what they do because it has more space.
Yeah.
And that way
I'm gonna be right
it's a lot. You made a lot. The other one better because it's smaller and thinner. But they're both good. It's not Peak Design. It's another company like that. I'll find a link for it. Remind me. But yeah, it's a lot better than trying to jam that thing in the pocket.
Yeah.
I've seen all my friends have.
Yeah, who makes that one? Do you remember?
I don't remember.
I'm drawing a blank right now. I'll come up with it.
That's my love. That's what we just asking.
Both Zelensky and Andrew.
I know. Are you still up?
Yeah.
Now somebody's gonna trip on it.
No, I think that's trippable.
I'm just
You guys gonna blow the light out this time? Again?
the AP did it.
Still pretty. Yeah, AP.
Just checking everything looks good. We're on a 5-second delay here. Okay, cool.
Great.
Lost by the
Great, thank you.
They've talked about it enough.
I wonder why my neck hurts every morning.
No idea.
Wednesday.
I never put cameras throughout my day.
I looked down when they had 4 cameras. I'm like, 4. I was like, that's a little much, pal.
I said, I wish I was doing this than I probably did 4 years ago. Right? More time standing waiting around for the than I spent in class.
I've never thought about it in that
We
context.
had dinner at the golf course before we were games.
Apparently, we really are out 5. So,
When Marriott tells you you have 13 years,
Right? Yes.
telling you how many years.
Yes. Yes.
And it's just one sheet.
I had checked my total
for a very long time. Yeah. So he was clocking 200 bucks. They literally pick up the phone and call you by your name.
Offer you stuff.
And then you have like you can complain to your own sponsor person. Yeah. Property. Yeah. Apple was
Oh my God, look at Victor.
You know, when you start ordering a washing machine and a dishwasher from the American, you know, you just, what a washer and dryer. Say what?
The person who spends 200 nights probably doesn't spend a lot of time bitching about shit.
Right. Yes, they get it.
Scratch my back.
This is the one room in the complex that they can't recognize.
I know, you could have just set us up in the living room and had fantastic had all the band here. He loves coming downstairs. It's symbolic. Started that way.
Did they just get the same everything else?
Yep.
No, it's close. Sorry.
Do you have the platinum card?
We got the Delta, whatever it's called. The Delta something card.
You guys are going
One step below you, but they just upped the price to like 300 something.
Platinum card doesn't you have to do with
No, it does not.
Don't we get to give you the number on board?
I can hear your conversation going out.
Here we go, here we go.
Well, thank you very much. We had a terrific meeting. We discussed a lot of things. As you know, I had an excellent phone call with President Putin that lasted for over 2 hours. We discussed a lot of points, and I do think we're getting a lot closer, maybe very close. The President and I just spoke to the European leaders. They were President Emmanuel Macron of France, President Alexander Stubb of the Republic of Finland, President Karol Nawrocki of the Republic of Poland, Prime Minister Jonas Gahr Store of the Kingdom of Norway, Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni of the Italian Republic, Prime Minister Keir Starmer of the United Kingdom of Britain and Northern Ireland, Chancellor Friedrich Merz the Federal Republic of Germany, Secretary General Mark Rutte, the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, NATO, President Ursula von der Leyen of the European Commission. We spoke to all of those great leaders. They're all great leaders. And we had a great talk with them after we were completed. We thought it was appropriate to speak with them. And our meeting was excellent. We covered, somebody would say 95%. I don't know what percent, but we have made a lot of progress on ending that war, which is really certainly the most deadly war since World War II, probably the biggest war since World War II. And I want to thank Steve Witkoff, who's here, and I'd like to thank Jared, who's here someplace. Thank you, Jared. And thank you, Steve. What a great job you've done. Jared Kushner, Steve Witkoff, and Marco Rubio is here. Thank you, Marco. And Pete Hegseth is here. Those two people are doing an unbelievable job. And the four people on this one are doing, I don't think anybody could do it. And we'll see if it gets done, but it's very close, certainly. Nobody would even have a chance of getting it to where it is right now. Nobody would have thought that was possible. So I just want to say we've done very well. We've had discussions on just food. I can tell you that you're big, strong people. Your general over there looks like central casting. I want to also, by the way, speaking of generals, we have a great general, General Raisin Kane, who is here someplace. Thank you, General. Thank you very much. He's great. So, Mr. President, maybe you want to say a few words, and then we'll speak over the next couple of weeks. We'll speak probably quite a bit, but we'll speak tomorrow. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Mr. President.
Thank you.
Thank you for everything. Dear colleagues, first of all, I would like to thank President Trump for a great meeting at this amazing place in his home in Mar-a-Lago. And we had a really great discussions on all the topics, and we appreciate the progress that was made by American and Ukrainian teams in these recent weeks. Special thanks to Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner, and thank you for their engagement and full commitment, and also to our team, and first of all to Rustem Umerov and General Gnatov, and to all our teams. And we discussed all the aspects of the peace framework, which includes, and we have great achievements, 20-point peace plan, 90% agreed, and U.S.-Ukraine security guarantees, 100% agreed. U.S.-Europe-Ukraine security guarantees almost agreed. Military dimension 100% agreed. Prosperity plan being finalized, and we also discussed the sequencing of the following actions. And we agree that security guarantees is a key milestone in achieving lasting peace, and our teams will continue working on all aspects. We also had a joint productive call with European leaders, like President Trump said already, and a lot of leaders, including NATO and the EU. And we agreed that our teams will meet in upcoming weeks to finalize all discussed matters. And we agreed with President Trump that he will host us, and maybe in Washington, European leaders and Ukrainian delegation, yes, in January. And Ukraine is ready for peace. And once again, would like to thank President Trump for a warm welcome and substantial discussion. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. President.
Any questions, please?
We've just heard some digits from President Zelensky, 90%, 100%. The U.S.-Ukraine security guarantees, what number are we at right now?
Well, I think look, you can say 95%, but I don't like to say percentages. I just think we're doing very well. We could be very close. There are one or two very thorny issues, very tough issues, but I think we're doing very well. We made a lot of progress today, but really we've made it over the last month. This is not a one-day process deal. This is very complicated stuff, but I think when the president says 95, I think, could be close to 95%. Yeah, please, behind you.
Mr. President, have you agreed on the so-called free trade zone on Donbass? How to separate the sites? How to make the separation line? Who will be responsible?
The word agreed is too strong. I would say not agreed, but we're getting closer to an agreement on that, and that's a big issue. Certainly, that's one of the big issues, and I think we're closer than we were. Probably it's unresolved, but it's getting a lot closer. That's a very tough issue, but one that I think will get resolved. Yeah, please.
We are receiving some mixed signals coming from Moscow, even after you spoke with President Putin. Can you assure us that you have received written or any formal response from them?
Well, what was the issue? You have to tell me. What did they say?
So they are telling that Ukraine has to give up Donbass. Just a very recent statement coming out.
Well, that's what they've been asking for, and there's a dispute about that. So they're going to have to iron that out. That's an issue they have to iron out. But I think it's moving in the right direction.
If they reject or delay the solution or peace agreement that you try to achieve,
if something doesn't happen, you mean if something doesn't happen? Yeah, go ahead.
May I ask?
No, go ahead. You're going to finish your question.
Will there be any step that the United States be prepared?
Well, we'll see. Look, we'll see. But I don't want to talk about that because I think we're getting pretty close. Yes, please.
May I ask the President of Ukraine
Please.
about territorial question? Mr. President, what is your take on Donbas status? Are you prepared to see it as a free economic or demilitarized zone?
No, we spoke about 20 points plan, and I'm happy that really our teams very close to results, and I agree with President Trump that our teams worked not one day and not one week, more than 1 month, beginning from Geneva, then 2 meetings in Miami, then we had Berlin, and now we have Mar-a-Lago. So this is a very difficult question. You know our position, so it's, we have to respect our law and our people. We respect the territory which we control. And of course, our attitude is very clear. That's why President Trump said this is a very tough question. And of course, we have with Russians different positions on it.
And have you discussed referenda about?
No, when we speak about referendum, we spoke that it's one of the key. We can have referendum on any kind of points of this plan. I said that we can use referendum like for the plan, or we cannot use referendum. It's one of the key. We can use, this possibility of Parliament to vote according to the law or to have referendum. Doesn't matter. This referendum, if the plan will be very difficult for our society, very difficult, of course our society has to choose and has to vote, because it's their land, the land not of one person, it's the land of our nation for a lot of generations.
They'll probably have to get their plan approved by Parliament or by referendum of the people. You would think that they want, I know they had a poll that it's 91% in favor of ending this war, so they want to end it like everybody wants. Russia wants it ended, everybody wants it ended, and we want it ended. I want it ended because I don't want to see so many people dying. We're losing, massive numbers of people, the biggest by far since World War II. So we want to see it ended, absolutely.
President
Yes.
Trump, you said at the top that you plan to speak again tomorrow. Is that correct?
I might. It depends on what happens tomorrow. If there's an additional something to add, otherwise there's no reason to. We're in the process. Jared and Steve are working very hard to get something done, and if there's something that comes up, I'd speak, but otherwise I don't think there's any reason to.
In your mind, sir, what are the thorniest issues still unresolved after the...
Well, I think the land you're talking about, some of that land has been taken. Some of that land is maybe up for grabs, but it may be taken over the next period of a number of months, and you're better off making a deal now. Look, let me tell you, they have been very brave. They fought very hard and continue to fight very hard and do tremendous damage. But Russia would like to see it end, and Ukraine would like to see it. And I think it's time to end. And a lot of very brave people, a lot of people that are dead right now, unfortunately, because I've said, and nobody's disputed it, that if the election weren't rigged and stolen, 2020, you wouldn't have had this war. It would have never happened. And it didn't happen for 4 years. Never was even thought to happen. And I spoke with President Putin. I got along with him very well, despite the Russia hoax, which was a total hoax. He used to say, what is going on over there? But it was a total hoax, as he knew and as I knew. But I spoke to him, and we'd talk about Ukraine. I've said it before. It was the apple of his eye, but he wasn't going to do anything about it. He didn't do anything about it until I was gone, and then a lot of really bad statements were made by people, by a lot of people, I guess, but by a certain president that we had who was a disaster.
Mr.
Yes.
President, do you anticipate going to Ukraine if you can get to an agreement? And I know
I'd have
you
no
said
problem
earlier,
with doing it. I have no problem with doing it. We don't anticipate it. would like to get the deal done and not necessarily have to go. I've offered to go and speak to their parliament, and if that would help. I don't know if that would help. I think it would probably help, but I don't even know if that's.
You're welcome.
Yeah, no, I know.
Always.
So I'm not sure that it would be really necessary, but if it would help save 25,000 lives a month or whatever it may be, I would certainly be willing to do that. Yeah, please. No, behind you. Where are you from?
From Ukraine.
Good, I had a feeling.
Public broadcaster.
Good.
And how about Zaporizhzhia nuclear plant? Have you discussed this question?
On what?
Zaporizhzhia nuclear plant.
Yeah, we discussed that at length today. As you know, it's in pretty good shape. It can start up immediately, almost immediately. And it's one of the things I discussed with President Putin. And they were talking about the nuclear plant. It's probably the biggest in the world, just about the biggest anywhere in the world. Can you believe that? And President Putin's actually working with Ukraine on getting it open. He's been very good in that sense. He wants to see that open. And he hasn't hit it with missiles, hasn't hit it with anything. It's a big danger to do that for everybody. But they're working together to try and get it. It can open very quickly. It's in pretty good shape. And the people there have been there for years. The people there running it. They have 5,000 people in that plant. Can you believe it? I learned that today. 5,000 people. It's the biggest plant of its kind in the world. And they're working together to get it open. They could maybe get it open quickly. That's a big step when he's not bombing that plant. It's a big step.
Mr. President, in the readout from Moscow, they talked about the creation of some working groups.
Yes.
That would be set. Can you tell us about what those working groups would entail? And also, if you wouldn't mind, what is the message that you will give to Putin when you speak to him after your meeting?
So the working group is going to be composed of Steve Witkoff, Jared Kushner, General Raisin Kane, Marco Rubio, and a few other people that we're going to be putting onto it. I think Pete Hegseth should be in that working group. He knows the territory very well. He's been fantastic at what he's doing. And they may add one or two people. And likewise, Ukraine's going to have some very good people that were at lunch today that enjoyed the lunch today a lot, more than they thought, right? But do you want to say who may be on your working group?
Yeah, we now, as I said, that we work with Steve and Jared. We worked our Rustem Umerov and also Deputy Minister Gislitz and also General Ignatov, and they will continue work in this group. And of course, if we will go further, and I hope that really we will have decisions in January, as I said, about all these documents, 6 documents, and of course, we will continue work on this, so they know what to do. Yes.
And that working group, by the way, importantly, will also then be working with Russia, okay? Because to work with ourselves doesn't really solve much of a problem. So they'll be working with Russia. Yeah, please.
President, you said this morning you weren't a deadline guy. How long do you think it'll take to get this last little bit, as you say, finished? What are we talking about?
So if it went really well, maybe a few weeks. And if it went poorly, longer. And if it went really poorly, it's not going to happen. That would be a shame. There's that chance also. It's possible it doesn't happen. But, in a few weeks we will know one way or the other, I think. But if it went really well, but it could also go poorly. I mean, we could have something where one item that you're not thinking about is a big item breaks it up. Look, it's been a very difficult negotiation, very detailed. It's funny, I settled 8 wars. Some were going on for 35 years. And we got them settled in a couple of days. Some of them, one was going on for 37 years. I settled it in 1 day. But this is a very complex one.
Do you want to put odds on it? What the bad?
No, I think we'll get it done. I don't want to say when, but I think we're going to get it done. Yes, ma'am.
Mr. President, you in the past have suggested a trilateral meeting between both Presidents Putin and Zelensky. Is
Right.
that something that is also on the docket?
I see that happening, sure, at the right time. I saw a very interesting President Putin today. I mean, he wants to see it happen. He wants to see it. He told me very strongly. I believe him. Don't forget, we went through the Russia hoax together. And he'd call me, I'd call him, I'd say, can you believe the stuff that they're making up? And it turned out we were right. They made it all up. And despite that, we didn't get into wars and we didn't get into problems, but we weren't able to trade very much or any of that, which was a shame because, you know, a lot of success could have been had by trading with Russia. They have great land, great minerals and other things, and we have things that they want very badly. But the Russia hoax, which was a terrible, made-up, fictional thing by Crooked Hillary and by Adam Shifty Schiff and bad people, sick people, they made it up. It was all a made-up hoax. But it kept us really from dealing with Russia, kept Russia dealing, you know, from dealing with us. So, but despite that, we got along. And I don't know. I think we're going to get there. I know him very well. I think we're going to get there.
Did you discuss any time, location, meeting place?
Yeah, we're discussing a lot of things. No, look, I was on the phone with him for almost, I guess, 2.5 hours. They're just telling me now. That's a long time. We discussed a lot of things. We didn't talk about the weather. We weren't talking about what a beautiful day it is in Palm Beach, Florida. Yes.
Trump, President Zelensky mentioned maybe a meeting with European leaders back in Washington. Would that be in the next few weeks?
Well, in Washington or someplace, yeah. These leaders that I just read, these are great people. You know, they've spent a lot of money on helping Ukraine. And look, they're doing it for themselves also, meaning their country, because Ukraine's a very important country for them in particular. For us, it's very important. To me, it's the lives. You know, we're thousands and thousands of miles. We're protected by a thing called the Atlantic Ocean and lots of other places, to be honest. And they're not, you know, they're right there. But we're working together with them as we should be. But I'm doing it to save lives. You know, we're not spending any money. Biden gave $350 billion away. And the president was nice enough to give us a contract to take out rare earth and things. So we'll see how that all works out. We have a contract, but we appreciated that. He was very good. But we'll see how that works out. But if you think about it, we're going to have. I really believe we're probably, Mr. President, by far closer than ever before, with both parties. We had some times when he was close and President Putin wasn't. Then when President Putin was close and he wasn't, you saw that in the White House. but I think they both want to see it happen.
Mr. President, in your conversation with...
You were saying that you've said multiple times that you want to stop the killing, and nearly 100 American citizens died in Ukraine on the battlefield. Yeah. What's your message to their families whose loved ones died fighting for Ukraine?
Well, look, I mean, the message is so obvious. It's what a shame. They died in a foreign country. And some are celebrated people. They're very celebrated. But so sad that a thing like that would happen. Yes, ma'am.
President Trump, obviously security is a major issue for the Ukrainians.
Right.
Did you offer any promises, any assurances today?
Well, I did. We want to work with Europe. And Europe is going to take over a big part of it, as you can imagine. You know, they're right there. But we're going to help Europe 100%. Like they'd help us. Yes, ma'am. You were going to say something?
Yeah, I was just going to ask, when your conversation...
Who are you with?
Andrea Shalal with Reuters.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. So in your conversation with President Putin, did you discuss what responsibility Russia will have for any kind of reconstruction of Ukraine post an agreement?
I did.
And
they're going to be helping. Russia's going to be helping. Russia wants to see Ukraine succeed. Once, it sounds a little strange, but I was explaining to the president, President Putin was very generous in his feeling toward Ukraine succeeding, including supplying energy, electricity, and other things at very low prices. So a lot of good things came out of that call today. But they were in the works for 2 weeks with Steve and with Jared and Marco and everybody.
Did Russia agree, or did Putin agree to a ceasefire to allow a referendum to take place?
Not a ceasefire, and that's one of the points that we're working on right now. No, not a ceasefire. He feels that, look, you know, they're fighting and to stop, and then if they have to start again, which is a possibility, he doesn't want to be in that position. I understand that position. The president feels strongly about that or something, but I think we're finding ways that we can get around that. But I understand President Putin from that standpoint. You know, you have to understand the other side. And, you know, I'm on the side of peace. I'm on the side of stopping the war. So, but I think that's that's a problem that's going to get solved. Yeah.
Would people who live outside of Ukrainians who fled during the war be allowed to participate in the referendum?
What do you mean, people where live?
The people that left.
Who fled to Poland and
you know,
Germany.
if we speak about the people who are abroad, who are not on the territory of Ukraine, you mean that in Poland, in Germany, we have millions of people. Yeah, they have a referendum in the same of elections, in the same way how people come and vote. They have rights for this, and of course they have to come. That's why if we will come to referendum, yes, if we will come to such decision, people need infrastructure for this, and it's not simple. And that's why we spoke about it. It can't be in one day, very quickly. It's difficult because we need infrastructure. When you have millions of people, you have to build it in Europe, mostly in Europe for today.
President Trump, I know you sound an optimistic note here, but what happens in a few weeks if things sputter? What are you prepared to do?
They keep fighting, and they keep dying. No good. But if things don't happen, they keep fighting, and they keep dying. And we don't want that to happen. He doesn't want it to happen. President Putin doesn't want it to happen either. Okay? Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank
Great.
you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
And thanks for lunch.
I don't know. Was it a good lunch?
Yes, sir.
There's no lunch. He walked in. He said, "This place is gorgeous." I don't think he wants to go to the White House anymore. That's the problem.
I'm ready to go to White House.
I know. It is. The White House is a very special place, and so is this. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Oh. Thank you. Good question you asked.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Hey, great job.